Welcome! Thanks for tuning in to Can I Get Your Number, a podcast where we discuss the aspects of the Enneagram in relation to our personal and relational growth. This will be in the context of friendships and current relationships.
As we discuss this valuable tool, we hope you will filter through with us, remembering that our foundational identity is in Christ. We're your hosts, Tracy
And Naomi.
Welcome. Welcome back to Can I Get Your Number? Today we're going to switch things up a little and we're going to have your hosts as your guests. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be asking Naomi the questions that she would normally ask, and she's going to ask me the questions that I would normally ask. So are you ready to hear from your type 7s? So how do you see your type playing out in relationships?
I think 7s, being the enthusiast, we make friends really easily because we are so fun-loving and enthusiastic that I think we either naturally grab people or people are drawn to us. So you see it a lot in friendships especially. I think we start conversations a lot and we'll be excited for you.
Yeah.
And romantically, I think, we're pretty spontaneous. We want to go out and do something fun for a date. Let's go zip lining or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
I think.
And not to toot our own horn, but we're pretty magnetic. You know what I'm saying?
And so I think for a strength that us 7s bring to the table is, being spontaneous, being like imaginative, just being really, really fun, very loving, very like joyful. We're pleasant. We're very pleasant to be around. And I think
what's
some
weakness?
the weaknesses. It's too good to be true, right? The weaknesses, I would say, when under stress and like not doing so well, we can be really impulsive, and we can be a bit self-destructive and just maybe not doing our limits or knowing our limits and just getting really carried away. And before we know it, we can be kind of a mess. And so I think especially romantically, like that could be kind of stressful for the significant other.
Yeah.
But the strengths are pretty
They're pretty strong.
Yeah.
That's good.
So Tracy, how would you say that us 7s, how do we like to be shown love?
Well, I don't know. How do you? I know for me particularly, give me freedom. I need freedom. Yeah. So because I'm fun, loving, spontaneous, give me that freedom to be spontaneous. If I'm like forced in this bubble or this box and you're like, keep her there, I'm like, no, because I will find an exit. I will find a hole. I'm getting out of there. I'm not staying stuck in there. So give me freedom. That's showing me love by giving me freedom.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So can you tell me a time where you would have to, say, die to your flesh and honor the Lord in your behavior despite being a type 7?
So in the past summer, I was offered a position by this ministry I was serving, and she was my authority, and she offered me this position that was not exactly a 7 strong suit. It was sitting at a desk, working with numbers, being organized, having a plan, just being very on top of things. And not that 7s are incapable of doing that. I mean, clearly I did it. I survived the summer.
You did good at it.
But it was hard because I wanted to honor the ministry. Like if that's where they need me, then that's where I'm going to serve. And so it was just hard though, because I really had to deny that, I'm just going to go by the seat of my pants. I don't need a plan. I can be just spontaneous. You really can't be when you're working with other people's finances and so on. So I really had to die to that.
That's true.
Crazy nonsense.
I get you.
So what would you like other types and just other people to know about 7s? What are some misconceptions and maybe some confusion about 7s that you just want to clear up? What do you want people to know about 7s?
There's quite a few things I would like to make known to people. First of all, we are productive. So though we can be under stress and we can be like at this place of like having to be productive, we can do it. We're productive. We can get tasks done pretty well to 110% if need be. I think that's very misunderstood by many other personality types. I also think that though we're fun-loving and we're very enthusiastic, we're not always happy. Like, we're not always going to be your fun-loving, joyful person. There are days and there are times that we do have maybe a down day, or maybe just some time that we need to be shown love, or we need to be shown that somebody cares. Because yes, we go and we're fun-loving, but we're also caring, and we show our care for people in being there, in keeping them joyful. But like, we do try and push down our pain, and we try and not address that. So if somebody's going to come and address that and like help us through that, that helps a ton.
Very true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah, that's what I would say. What is one of the biggest motivators for you as a type 7?
For me, as a type 7, I would say one of the biggest motivators is satisfaction.
Yeah.
It sounds a little like, ooh,
risque.
Yeah, at first. But I think 7s, I don't know, there's just something like we just want the fullest life. And the most beautiful thing about us being 7s is we reflect God's joy and his abundance.
So true.
And I think when we remember that Christ is enough, that motivation, that like, oh, okay, I want to satisfy, like, I want to be satisfied, like it gets satisfied with Christ, because he's enough. He's enough. But how that looks, maybe like in day to day, I'll think to myself like what I want to do. So like for me personally, I'll set a to-do list, because 7s can be focused as well. But I'll think, what do I want to do first? What's most fulfilling? I was like, okay, I want to do my laundry. Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, I want to do my laundry first, get that out of the way. And that's like the most fulfilling.
That's good. Yeah, that's so good.
So Tracy, what is your wing? I kind of mentioned it earlier, but it's the one either below or right above. So 6, the loyalist, or the guardian, or 8, the challenger.
I'm gonna let you guess that one. Well, obviously, I am a wing 8, so I can be very direct and very like, this needs to happen, this needs to be done, or you need to address this issue. So I think that kind of complements the type 7, because instead of allowing myself to push all that pain down, I'm like, that does need to be dealt with. So I'm like, okay, let's bring it back up and kind of deal with that. Not that I want to in any shape or form, but I think that helps me understand that more. Yeah, I think that's good.
And is there anything that you want to share with everybody, being a 7 and not necessarily putting your identity in, I'm a 7, I'm always going to be this way, not using it as an excuse? Is there something you want to say to the people about putting your identity in the Lord instead, and having him be that root instead of a 7?
Exactly like what you said earlier about satisfaction. The Lord is your satisfaction. He can give you everything that you need. You do not need to go and seek that satisfaction within anything but him. You don't need to go towards food. You don't need to go towards any sinny things. You can go straight to the Lord. Receive your satisfaction from him, because he can satisfy us in all the ways that we need. And I think we underestimate that a lot, and we try and fulfill ourselves in so many different ways and receive that satisfaction in so many different things. But yet when like the Lord comes in and he's like, hey, I have even better for you, we're like, whoa, yes, please, that kind of thing. So I get that. Is there anything you would like to share with the audience about?
I think 7s, we come off so bubbly. I think we have a lot more going on in here than maybe what we show. And you mentioned it a lot about how there's like these yucky feelings that we try to kind of hide, because we're pretty quick to make a sad atmosphere light again. And that's a beautiful thing, but that's also, it's almost harmful to us. So just knowing like the Lord cares about you, and you do not have to carry those fears, those anxieties, and those stress and concerns. You don't have to carry that. You can bring it to surface, and it can be dealt with in a healthy way to a man that loves you, and he created you the way he wanted, and he's just so concerned about you. So just pass those worries on to him. You don't have to worry about having to have like a fake smile on all the time, because that's who you are as a 7. That's not true. And that, even as fun and crazy as we are, we you can be focused. You can be focused and channel your energy and channel your strengths and be very productive. And
that's not an excuse. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not. We can't be very on it. Yeah.
So
thank you, Naomi, for being in our episode.
Thank you, JC.
Thank you. Well, thank you, everyone, and we hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for joining us. Please check out our Instagram at canigetyournumber.enneagram.
You can also find the link to our website and study guide in our Instagram bio. Please tune in again for our next episode.